So with Ryan Murphy saying that the Coven witches are going to be returning in some way, shape, or form in the near future, my comment section has just been blowing up with people saying that we're going to get a spin-off of American Horror Story Coven, and we actually get a show focused on the witches. Now, that is a good idea in and of itself, but what is the best possible story for them to tell? Well, let's talk about it. Hey YouTubers, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this is a countdown, so make sure to listen for the... Okay, so I think first and foremost, the best way to actually do this, and probably one of the reasons that a lot of people wouldn't like it, is just do a mini-series. Bring back all the main players and tell a grand story for them and wrap up everything with the Coven witches. Yes, we do like it. Yes, we want to explore this world a little bit more, but we want a chance to bring back every single player from the 3rd season and also the 8th season of American Horror Story. And you're not going to be able to do that if you do a full-fledged we're doing everything and exploring this whole world type of show like American Horror Story, but just simply with the Coven witches. So yeah, just mini-series it up and make it a nice 10-episode event for people who are fans of the Coven witches. But if that's not what you want to do, I think it would be pretty awesome to go back and tell like a prequel story as you focus on a young Fiona coming into her own as the new Supreme, and then showing how selfish she was and how she used her powers just simply for her own gain and really did destroy the Coven for what it's worth. Jessica Lange was the best part about Coven. I know a lot of people love that season for a lot of different reasons, but Jessica Lange I think really knocked it out of the park, and having her character come back for a couple of scenes here and there where we get to see what was happening in the present right before she died, right before she came back, all that other stuff, it just opens up a lot of possibilities, plus bringing back some of the old characters, albeit in a younger form. That would probably be one of the best things that you could do with this show. Another thing you can do with it, but I'm not really sure a lot of people would like this, is you just make it another anthology series where every single season it's just something completely different. I mean, focusing on the world of the witches, going from one place to another. So you're no longer just in Florida with the Coven. Here you're with the warlocks in one season, you're with witches from another Coven in another season, and you get to really cast a bunch of new people. Maybe you can treat it like American Horror Story where you take the main cast in the show and just give them different personalities or something. Maybe that really wouldn't work because you know that you're in the same world, so why are there so many people populating in the witches and warlocks who look exactly the same? I mean, I thought that was going to be a big problem with American Horror Story doing this main crossover, but I actually kind of really enjoyed it. So, I mean, who knows, but just doing a complete anthology witches and warlocks television show, getting to explore this world, I think would be really big for a lot of fans, because even though you don't want to admit it, the Coven witches, that entire story is the biggest and broadest story that American Horror Story has ever tried to tell. It's a potentially worldwide story with a lot of different characters and a lot of different stories to have. And that's kind of unlike any other season of American Horror Story. I mean, there's various things that other seasons can do, but you're pretty much regulated to a murder house or a hotel or wherever you're really located. But Coven can really go worldwide. So if they're going to do a spin-off series, I think that that would be the best possible outcome, is just really exploring the world with brand new and different characters every single season with a completely different story. So one of the best comments I got from my last video about the Coven witches, and I just have to share it with you guys here with this kind of pitch video or just general discussion video about what we want from a potential spinoff from American Horror Story Coven, is a comment from Anthony Fay, and he says, "I am dying to see the adventures of Mallory and Coco and the relationship between Cordelia and Misty." I mean, first off, Coco and Mallory, like that would be hysterical. I think that was one of the best things about this season, was the fact that Coco was really being kind of mean to Mallory the entire show, but then, you know, she was under a spell and they actually really love each other. I mean, it would be kind of interesting to really explore that relationship a little bit more. I'm going to actually go one little bit further. I'm not just talking about Cordelia or Misty or anything else like that, but let's do a Madison Montgomery spinoff. I mean, the Montgomery family has been pretty prominent in American Horror Story for a while, and Madison was probably one of the best people in the entire Coven season too. So I think Emma Roberts would make a fantastic leading person for a television show, especially with her Madison Montgomery character. So that's a possibility. And then finally, of course, all this stuff is just right off the top of my head, but one of the things you could possibly do is go back even further in time. and tell about like the first witches, the very first Supreme, and everything that they mentioned in Roanoke. I mean, really try to make it horror. But that's the problem here. I think a lot of people focus on Coven because it's actually really fun. It's colorful, the characters are really enjoyable. But if you go back in time, that's where a lot of the horror elements of that season of Coven really took place. So they would have to focus on that stuff a little bit more in this season or this show. That's something I'm not very sure a lot of people would jump at. It's possible, but I would think a lot of people would really want to explore the modern day world of Coven instead of going back and seeing all the horrific things that happened in the past. Of course, if you do a Coven show, that stuff has to be brought up and that stuff has to actually be a part of it, but the main focus, I'm not sure a lot of fans would really jump at. So guys, that's everything that I can come up with when it comes to a spin-off series. I mean, just right off the top of my head, as I say all the time, I am not the person who's paid to write this stuff. It's just kind of fun to talk about it with you guys on this platform. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real.